Thank you for taking the time to attend our annual State of the Education Luncheon program. That got everybody's attention. Thank you for taking the time to attend our annual State of the Education Luncheon program presented by Northside Hospital. First, Sheriff Stacy Gerard will give our invocation and lead us in the pledge.
Okay, we got them up and ready. Real quick, we'll say the invocation. I always like to ask if there's any special prayer requests. Anybody got a prayer request? Anyone?
Just for our country.
Oh, yeah, we always need that for our country. Yes.
A young man, 9 years old, Grant, has sarcoma, and he's in the hospital.
Okay. Let's remember that one.
Sheriff, how about for the Rangers families who passed away last week and for the 3 who were injured during that accident?
Right. That happened up in Mount Yona, if you haven't heard, over in White County. Anyone else? All right, well, let's pray. Lord, we just thank you for another day of life. We thank you for the opportunity to be here. We thank you for this food. We thank you for the ones that have prepared it, Lord. We ask to be with all the prayer requests that have been mentioned here, the ones that have lost loved ones, the ones that are going through other conflicts, sickness, and the ones that are going through diagnosing with other medical problems, Lord, a young child. Just be with them, keep your hands around them. Be with all the ones that are represented here today, Lord, and if there's any conflict amongst them, just keep your hands around them, Lord, and we thank you for all that they do, all the representation here, all the education we have in the room. We're so thankful for that, Lord, and just thank you for the many blessings that you've given us, and be with this food and let it nourish our bodies. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, real quick, I usually try to do a funny before I do the prayer. Go ahead and have a seat. So I'll do it after the prayer, and I will get out of the way. A couple things real quick is I saw Dr. Whitfield here. She is my doctor. I always like to say thank you for everything she's done for me. I also saw my dad, Mr. Lewis, Bill Lewis, over here in the corner. His son and I was born the same day, same time. I always told him he took the wrong child from the hospital when he left. Next thing real quick is I went last week. I was still in remission. I praise the Lord for that. I thank the Lord for another 6 months checkup. Everything was great. So if you did pray for me, thank you for that. Last thing is I sent this text message to my wife yesterday morning. Tell me if you think there's something wrong with it. I was asked this morning why I am always in a good mood. This is the message I sent to her. I said, because I just have that personality. I always try to wake up the same direction and try to treat everybody the same. Then they asked, do I ever wake up crabby in the morning time? I said, no, I let her sleep. Okay. Y'all have a great day. Thank you all for being here.
All right, it'll be easy to follow that joke. The Dahlonega-Lumpkin County Chamber of Commerce mission is to increase prosperity, attract visitors, advocate for all businesses, and develop leaders to promote the welfare of our community. We advocate for all our businesses through our advocacy committee, chaired by Chuck Jones. It organizes events such as State of the State, State of the City and County, and the State of Economic Development. Special thanks to our media partner, Fetch Your News. This will be streamed live on FYN TV on their website, and we'll also have it available on the Chamber's social media, YouTube, and Facebook channels soon. Our programs and events aren't possible without the support of our sponsors, partners, and volunteers. Our presenting sponsor is Northside Hospital. And Kathy, would you like to come up and say a few words about Northside?
Yes, thank you everybody for having me today, and Northside being a proud sponsor of the Chamber, and of course, I want to make sure everybody keeps an eye on us. We are continuing to bring more services to the community to continue to help serve. So keep your eye out on some new things coming. We do have the cardiology group back here in Dahlonega, Dr. Wong and Dr. Wong and Patel. And then of course, yes, Sheriff helped me out. Donna, will you please stand up? I know everybody knows her, but Dr. Donna Whitfield. Northside wants to welcome Donna, to the Northside family. She is in temporary space off of Tifton, is it Drive? Okay, Tifton Drive, I never can remember if it's Drive or Lane. And then she'll be returning to Ansley Drive around December timeframe. So please spread the word. All of her existing patients, if you are looking for her, just stop by the office and start to do your record transfer request, and she'd be happy to see you again. So thank you.
Thanks, Kathy. Our gold sponsor is Truist Bank. Chuck, would you like to tell us a little bit about Truist?
First, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out today. I think one of the things that's really a well-hidden secret to many people outside of Georgia is the quality of the education that we have in Lumpkin County. We have a great local school system, a tremendous technical college, Mountain Ed, and North Georgia. And so education is really your key to getting out of poverty, achieving your dreams and your goals, and really giving you unlimited opportunities in your life. And I want to thank everybody for coming, and we look forward to this event. Thank you.
Our silver sponsors are Northeast Georgia Health Systems and Dahlonega Country Day Academy, and I didn't know if I saw anybody from Northeast Georgia Health Systems. We appreciate their great sponsorship. And Dahlonega Country Day Academy, Wes, would you like to come up? Your mouth is full. We appreciate the support. Our bronze sponsors are the State Farm Office of Nick Gardner, the University of North Georgia, and Exclusive Handbags and Accessories. Is Nick here? We appreciate Nick's support. University of North Georgia. I know we got. And Exclusive Handbags, Mia's going to come up because because she's a great community supporter. She's volunteered for about 500 things a day and had other commitments.
So yes, as Rob said, my name is Mia Engelhardt. I'm with Creative Constellation. I am the social media and marketing manager for Q. She recently come to the community and opened up Exclusive Boutique. It's down in the Greenbrier Shopping Center between Woody's and Dipper Dan's. Even though a lot of people keep telling her to move to the square, she's stubborn and she says no, she's going to bring the square population to her. So she is very excited, and like Rob said, is very much heavily involved volunteer. She's a CASA board member. She's part of the Rotary. I call her a big sister to the Rainbow Homegirls because she is always there mentoring those girls. And then with some work with Chris Warwick and the Historical Society, we're happy to announce that it has been validated that she is the first African-American woman business owner in Lumpkin County. So she would like to, thank you. So a bunch of us ladies got together and said we need to celebrate this, and she insisted that it needed to be a community event. So she has invited everybody from 4 to 7 tomorrow at the Greenbrier Shopping Center, free refreshments for the community to celebrate together. So we hope to see you all there.
Thanks, Mia. Chuck Jones serves as our chair of our advocacy committee. He serves on the board of the Dahlonega-Lumpkin County Chamber of Commerce and the Lumpkin County Water and Sewage Authority, is the chair of the Development Authority of Lumpkin County. He also is a member of several community organizations, including the Lumpkin County Audit Committee, the College and Career Academy Advisory Council for Lumpkin County School Systems, and the Finance Committee at Dahlonega United Methodist Church. He lives in Dahlonega, Georgia with his wife, Debbie, and their Lakeland Terrier, Atticus Finch. And they have one daughter, Lauren, who is 36. Chuck will be introducing our speakers today.
Thank you. You know, I blame Joanne Taylor for giving Atticus higher billing because ever since she gave him credit for her win, he gets credit every time I go out. So he's not even tax deductible, so I appreciate that. This is really, I have mixed emotions on this first speaker. One, she is our current president at the University of North Georgia. Benita Jacobs has done a tremendous job. I consider her a personal friend, and she has done things for the community that most people don't realize. She is a tremendous leader throughout the entire educational system, and she is really just one of the finest people I've ever met. I give her a hard time because she was never able to get into a good school. She went to Stephen F. Austin, which took all the rejects from Sam Houston State. I'm a Bearcat. And she made the mistake of going to A&M when UT wouldn't take her, but, she's turned out pretty well. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Benita for her remarks.
Thank you, Chuck. I told you I would get the last word, and all I can say is I never wore orange, be it Sam Houston or University of Texas. I am purple and maroon. So anyway, I turned down Sam Houston. So here it is. I know I need to move pretty quickly. We have several speakers today, so I'm just really going to give you an overview of where we are at University of North Georgia, and you'll see that our last fall, our enrollment was right at 19,000 students, and we continue to retain our students, and our job is to graduate them. And we work very hard at that. Our retention and graduation rate is high. We have 65% of our students are full-time, 58% female, 42% male. That's very equivalent to most universities. We, on the Dahlonega campus, have 7,300 students, and of those, 710 are our great cadets, and more about them later. We have right at 2,800 student beds, and we keep those full. We will eventually need more housing. A lot of people do not realize the range, the breadth of the students we have coming to our university. We have students from 142 of the counties in Georgia. Remember, there are only 159 counties. So our brand is strong, and we have a lot of students visiting, and of course, it takes one visit, and they fall in love with Dahlonega. And I feel like we're a benefit to Dahlonega, and I know Dahlonega is a benefit to us. Our average SAT is 1,133. None of you need to come up and tell me that there's no way you would get in now. We will all just accept that and move on. Our average high school grade point average is 3.5. Bottom line with all that is that we recruit a very strong student, and we expect a lot of them. I did leave out, we have students from 85 countries and 45 states this past year. We have on occasion had students from all 50 states. Many of them are coming for the Corps cadets, but not all. So we do have a wide range of students. Residence Hall move-in starts on August 18. Anybody know what today is? It's move-in day. And as you're cursing the traffic around the square, just remember how many restaurant meals their parents are going to be buying while they're moving them in, and how much tax we'll get on Walmart and the grocery stores and the gas stations. So just keep that in mind, if you will. We're at a 99% occupancy rate, as I mentioned, and we will make a very big deal out of moving in. It is a great time, and Dr. Jim Keneally, raise your hand. He's our Vice President for Student Affairs, and is overseeing all of that moving in. On our enrollment trends, we have been among the fastest growing in the university system of Georgia. And I want to underscore something, and I want you to hear me very clearly. We have not lowered standards. We are just recruiting more top flight students. Enrollment has increased 23% since 2013. They're not all still here because we're graduating them, okay? So the university system in Georgia uses, they do a study about enrollment growth, and they project that we'll grow 6.5% through 2030. We are, as I mentioned, among the faster growing just because we do have that strong brand. We are awarding more than 3,000 degrees every year. And that's very important to our region, and we're very focused on regional economic development. That's part of our mission. And then I want to talk a little bit about the Corps of Cadets. and we commissioned more than 100 officers for the 7th year in a row. And I hope you all are reading the nugget and seeing some of the great things these students are doing. But this year, as you know, you may not know, let me just say that there is a Ranger Challenge among the 6 senior military colleges. We're one of only 6 in the nation. Us, Texas A&M, my alma mater, and Virginia Tech, Citadel, VMI, and Norwich. We all compete with Ranger Challenge, and you can imagine how grueling a competition that is. The top 2 teams get to go to the Sandhurst competition, which is international, brings teams from Canada and England and a number of other countries as well, Australia. So this year we came in Ranger Challenge. We were first, and Texas A&M was second. So we go to. So we went to Sandhurst, and we ranked the number 1 ROTC in the nation. We came in ahead of A&M there, and we are the only SMC that has been named number 1 4 years in a row. Those are our cadets. We even outpaced some of the U.S. academies. Just saying. We've also have been named Best for Vets. We're number 1 best colleges for veterans among public regional universities in Georgia, according to U.S. News and World Report. Number 5 among universities in the Southeast, and number 2 in Georgia, with the Military Times Best for Vets. Nationally competitive scholarships have been a very fruitful exercise we've engaged with. And as a new president, when I came, I spent a lot of time looking at data. And I saw the students' high school rank, I saw their SAT scores, and I brought up the topic of maybe we want to give students an opportunity to compete. And our faculty and staff have been mentoring these students. We are, as you'll see in the bottom corner, we've been named a top producer of Fulbrights our 5th year in a row, 5th year. And we've had students our students have earned more than $3.5 million on nationally competitive scholarships. They're all competing, and whether it's a Goldwater, a Truman, a Pickering, Boreans, Gilman's, critical language, etc., they are that good a student, and we're excited to help them to achieve those goals. 2 biology students won the Barry Goldwater Scholarship, which is the preeminent scholarship for STEM students, and they get up to $15,000 per student over 2 years. Last year, we had 2 Goldwater scholarships. We are the only institution in USG that had more than 1. I believe UGA had 1, and I think Kennesaw had 1, and Emory maybe, I don't know, but we had 2. Not that I'm competitive at all. Athletics is plays a very important role because we build community. If we don't build community, we don't keep our students. And our athletics teams have done extremely well. Women's softball and basketball both reached the Final Four. Men's golf competed in the D2 National Championship. We had a standout baseball team. They faltered at one of the playoffs and didn't make it all the way, but what a great, great team they are as well and will be this year. By the way, we've started our soccer season, and we encourage you to come out. Our fields are beautiful. We have a lot of enthusiasm, and we love having the community there. The Cottrell Center for Business Technology and Innovation, the new building that you all have seen that some of you feel like is a little too tall. But I will tell you that once you're inside that building and you see all of the technology that's available for cyber students, business students, they are going to have an impact on this region. It's a $35 million project. $25 million of that came from state funding, and we have raised $10 million on that. Of course, Mike and Lynn Cottrell contributed greatly to that, but we have had numerous other alums and friends of the university have contributed to that. We will be opening that this fall, and maybe we can have a tour of that at some point. I would love to welcome you for that. I think you'll be impressed. As I mentioned, regional economic impact is very important because we know that given our region where we have populated counties, we have rural counties, and we need to be able to have that educated workforce that will attract both companies who want people to work from home and those who they need to be on the job at the site. So our economic impact on the Northeast Georgia region this year exceeded $755 million, a 4.4% increase over last year. That comes from the jobs that have been created and also from the student spending. We have been working on our new strategic plan, and some of you may cringe when you hear the word strategic plan, but it has been a great opportunity for our faculty and staff to work under Dr. Main's direction and looking at where do we go from here. Here's what we've accomplished. So it will leverage our momentum, and it will emphasize our mission on education, leadership development. Remember, we're designated a leadership institution for Georgia, and service to the region and state. And I should have mentioned, we of course are designated the Military College of Georgia as well. We are celebrating our sesquicentennial. It's not that hard to say when you get used to it. It means 150 years. And it is fairly rare in higher education that we get to celebrate 150 years. And we are at 150 years and going strong. We are still recruiting top-notch students. We work very closely with the high school, with Lanier Tech, with the other technical colleges, and create MOUs. We're bringing students in. Our job is to have those networks so that we're able to give these opportunities to our students and for them to thrive and make this region even better than it is, which is a tall order. So are there any questions? Other than will you leave now? So, no. Any questions? All right, thank you very much.
You threw me off when you walked up. Benita, thank you very much. I really appreciate all you're doing, and I'm still going to get the last word somehow. So, I'd like to introduce Tim McDonald. He's the president of the Lanier Technical College. One of the things that is really amazing about Tim is this is his 37th year. I hope that's right. I hope I didn't shorten you any years. 38? So that shows that he has really spent his life dedicated to serving the needs of the students in North Georgia, and I want to thank him for all he's done for that long period of time. So Tim, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, and thank you, Rob, for having us here. It's a great opportunity. This is one of our communities. I want to point out a few folks before I get into it so you'll know the folks that are in the room. I want to start with Carl Rogers, former VP of Economic Development. He retired, but he's doing the same job as a part-time basis. So grab him before he goes. Let's work him to death. We have Sarah Crow, our coordinator of Career Services. So she is the connection point to our student body if you're an employer looking for employees. We have Troy Lindsay, the dean of our Dawson campus here. He's the dean. Next to him, we have Dolores Simpson, who actually runs the campus. So thank y'all. And there's a couple other people I'll point out in the room as I go, but just some brief overview here. We're founded in '64. First graduating class in '66. We're one of 22 technical colleges. You probably know about North Georgia Tech. That's a sister college of ours. And then we're governed by the executive branch. So we're out of the governor's office. Makes us a little different than the University System of Georgia, but we've got our niche. And our niche is workforce development. That's been our mission. We were founded on that out of this community in 1964. That remains our mission today. Our job is to provide the training that our local economy needs, whether it be in the manufacturing sector, the healthcare sector, transportation and logistics, the public service sector. That's our job. We do not have any programs at Lanier Tech that there's not a corresponding job or career opportunity in our communities, and that's our niche. And we do this workforce development 3 different ways. We do have standard academic programs, associate degrees, diplomas, and certificates. And let me pause here for just a minute on associate degrees. We're granted the opportunity to confer associate degrees, and our USG partners will accept 29 of those courses that we teach. And Dr. Jacobs, I'm going to stop right now and say thank you for the great work, the great partnerships, the articulation agreements that you've developed under your leadership. So thank you very much. And personally for being such a great friend the last 18 months as I've taken this role as president. So thank you so much. So diplomas, certificates are the short-term training. Is there anyone in here from Satellite Industries? No. The Satellite uses a very specific welding process, and students can come to Lanier Tech and get the training on that very specific welding process, and then they're immediately employable to companies like the Satellite Industries. And as little as 15 weeks, perhaps, maybe even shorter than that. We also do it through our adult education. Jeffrey Crydell is here. He is the director of the Lumpkin County Certified Literate Community Partner, works very closely with us to help those students who for some reason failed to get their high school credential the traditional way. And that's to giving these students an opportunity to get back into the workforce, to get that basic credential. I think University of North Georgia, same as Lanier Tech. In order to become a student, an academic student at Lanier Tech, you must have your high school credential. And this gives these folks an opportunity, a pathway to get into higher education. It's already been mentioned. Chuck mentioned it. You know, economic independence. That's what we're really all about, is to provide opportunities for our citizens to become economically independent. And I'll look at Senator Gooch and Representative Wade. Does that not cure a lot of problems when our people are more economically independent? And then we do it through customized training, through our economic development. That's continuing education, customized training. I put industrial ammonia refrigeration there. We get to enjoy fresh frozen foods from all over the world, primarily because of anhydrous ammonia is the most efficient refrigerant known to man. Outside of water, but you can't get water below 32 degrees, then it turns to ice. So we have one of the only training programs in the country for specifically focused on anhydrous ammonia training. We are only one of 2 colleges in the nation that have that particular program. We see students from all 50 states. Several foreign countries will come to Gainesville, Georgia for that training. So, fulfilling our mission, this is a snapshot of last year. 6,915 academic students, 2,201 adult education students that we served. Almost 300 gained their high school equivalency last year through Lanier Tech. We led the state of all programs in the state. And again, think about it. That's 300 people who now can take greater advantage of higher education opportunities and job opportunities. Many companies require that basic credential, that high school credential, as a condition of employment. So 300 additional people now are eligible for the workforce. And then through Carl's area, we served almost 3,000 students through contract and continuing education training. So that's the way we fulfill our mission. Almost 12,000 students served last year. Some more statistics. You can see the top row there, our academic enrollment over the years trending up. Our graduates kind of plateauing there. We're still finalizing the last year, so we don't have the graduate total. But one statistic or metric that's very important to us, remember our mission is workforce development, job placement. We look at job placement as a key metric for us. All technical colleges do that, excuse me. So you can see our job placement rate, we're just practically 100%. That's students who earn a credential at Lanier Tech and gain employment after that. That's Sarah Crow's job, is to track all of those graduates and to determine if they found employment or not. So very proud of that rate, but the one we're most proud of is the job placement rate in field. And you can see that, you know, we're mid-90s and then we trended down. That's we suspect those two trends into the 80s were COVID related, when this job market has just gone crazy. And then we're finalizing our numbers now, so it looks like we're going to be back in the 90% of our graduates are employed in the field that they came to study. If they came for healthcare, they're in a healthcare field. If they came for welding, they're welding somewhere. So again, that's very important for us to make sure that we are hitting our mission there. Some academic milestones: record enrollment last fall, 5,065 students. That's record for us, 5,000. To hit that milestone for us is tremendous. Record number of associate degrees, over 2,000 awards conferred. You know, our graduates, they're capable, confident, ready to go to work. Many of our students are already employed before they graduate. I'd say probably 70% of our population is going to school part-time and working full-time. If they're not working full-time, it's because they choose to not work full-time. We did have some allied health milestones. We had some programmatic reaccreditations, but one we're very excited with, and Dr. Jacobs, we've got a pathway now. We have an opportunity, our Associate of Science nursing class. We graduated our first cohort last December, and I will tell you, this program would not be in existence without Northside Hospital. Such a great partner with us to pull this in, to bring this program to Lanier Tech. Now Lanier Tech has a program where students can become registered nurses. And we know what a shortage there are of registered nurses. Again, our representative senator working very hard to address some of these issues that we've got in the workforce. So this just gives us a great opportunity to expand that, and it gives a pathway now for our students to matriculate to schools like the University of Georgia and North Georgia and seek that Bachelor of Science in nursing, because they do have the Associate of Science. We will work on bridge programs, so if you're a practical nursing practitioner, you'll have an opportunity to become a registered nurse. So you're going to see, I think, a lot of focus on healthcare careers in the coming years. We just can't keep up. One number I've heard is it's going to be 2030 before our healthcare system is really back to the place it should be, as far as the workforce being there available to handle the workload. So, but our focus is our people and our students. And one of the things we pride ourselves on is we have opportunities to meet the students where they are, whether they need their high school equivalency, or whether they know exactly what they want to be. If someone wants to be a HVAC technician and they know that, we got a spot for them. But the stories and the successes are all about our people. So we picture here of Brittany Parks. She was our Georgia Occupational Award of Leadership student. That's our outstanding student. She did not have a high school education. She came to Lanier Tech, earned her high school equivalency, and then has matriculated into our criminal justice system, and has now been selected as our outstanding student for the previous year. And you read things like, it got me out of my comfort zone. Now I can pursue the opportunities that I know I'm good at. So that's just having those opportunities to meet our students where they are. Karen Nowakowski, our outstanding instructor. One of the things that she says is that TCESG graduates are a direct result of being educated by highly trained subject matter experts. So our instructors are practitioners, whatever the program is, whether it be construction management. That instructor has a background in construction management. If it's welding or accounting, our instructors are practitioners first and then teachers second. So, again, our EAGLE, Exceptional Adult Georgian and Literacy Education. Ashley Adams, she was our outstanding student in that area. Talks about the opportunities now that she's gotten, and just in 3 months she was able to attain this credential on her first try, and now she's seeking higher education. And Jennifer Parker, who is actually in Lumpkin County, not here today, she's actually giving tests today, and she would not cancel the test day to be here today. So she was our outstanding instructor. And again, for 2 years in a row, Lanier Tech's produced the most high school equivalency graduates of any of the adult education programs in Georgia, and there's 30 of them. So we were the top for 2 years in a row. So we don't have athletics, but we do have competition. I don't know if you're familiar with Skills USA. I know Lumpkin County High School participates in it, and they have winners, state winners. So that's what our students do. They'll compete in their areas that they're studying. We had a great year this year. 24 of our students scored medals in the state Skills USA. And it's not just a matter of being the best in the competition. There is a national standard that they're held to. So there are minimum scores. Just because you may score higher than anyone else, if you don't hit that minimum score, you don't medal. So we were very proud of these folks, and the largest number Lanier Tech's ever had. You can see some of the different contest areas. We were extremely proud of 10 of our students who scored gold medal at state and then competed in the national, and of those 10, 7 medaled, and we had 5 that had gold medals. So just very proud of our students. We have 10 plus student organizations, so our students do have opportunities for that, leadership attainment, and really to network and work and develop those social skills. They don't just come to the campus just to learn a skill. There's opportunities for them to grow and develop. So just so proud of these students. Again, we led the state of Georgia in the number of medals from the national competition. Our academic year 23 initiatives, really one focus: closing the skills gap, whatever that may be. If it's in healthcare, if it's in transportation and logistics, if it's in manufacturing, that's our focus. Whether it be short-term, long-term programs, that's going to be our focus for the upcoming year. Commercial truck driving, we had put that program on pause for a couple of years for some budgetary reasons and COVID. You just really couldn't put 3 people in the cab of a truck during the height of the pandemic. It just did not make any sense. Medical lab technology, that's a program we're trying to hire a director for to bring that back. We have not had that in many, many years. Short-term training programs. We have an 8-week nurse aid program. So someone can come to Lanier Tech in 8 weeks. They're prepared to sit for their state exam for nurse aid. And I'm looking at my north side partner here. And I will tell you that a lot of times it's the nurse aide in the hospital or the retirement or the assisted living home. It's the nurse aide that really makes the difference in that patient, because that's the person who's working with that patient on a daily basis. So that's a focus. Growing our dual enrollment, high school dual enrollment, but I do want to spend a little time on our partnership with Lumpkin County School District. Dr. Brown, as you're beginning to roll out what the College and Career Academy looks like, we're already in conversations about what the program mix needs to be there. What can Lanier Tech provide that the school system maybe does not have to provide in terms of staffing and instructors, what those look like. So we're just so excited for that. This community should be very, very proud of itself, because on the first try, this community applied for the grant. Gosh, there was, 25 people went to Macon on a Friday, and we presented and just blew them away. So Dr. Brown and Jason Limley, You should be proud of those folks because what they've done in this county is not the normal. Usually it takes school systems a couple of tries to do that. And speaking of the school system and the school district, Greg Trammell, he's another Lanier Tech contact you've got. He serves on our local board of directors. And what school did you graduate from? Lanier Tech. So there you go. So that's our initiatives. Our mission, workforce development, our tagline, great careers begin here. But remember, we're all about helping people become more economically independent. Senator Gooch, Representative Wade, thank you for all you did in the last General Assembly, because we got some really great programs that were funded for TCSG to do that very thing. So thank y'all so much. Questions if we've got time. Yes, Jeffrey.
I just want to give a shout out of congratulations to Lanier Tech for Lumpkin County. Of those 300 GED students, almost 100 of them came from Lumpkin County.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Next, it's my pleasure to really introduce Dr. Rob Brown. He does a tremendous job, and we heard about all the work we're doing with the College and Career Academy that Jason leads. Billy Kirk is here, who leads our high school. We just have a lot of benefits in this community with a tremendous school system that really helps everybody. And Dr. Brown has provided leadership, and this is his 6th or 7th year? 7th year. And so we're really excited, and I'll make my one plug for the high school. There is a game Friday night, so come out and support the Indians. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Brown.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I think we're in the afternoon now. It's a pleasure to be with you here today and to talk about our school system. It's always an honor to talk about the work that's happening in our schools. And we do that, and we all the work that goes on in our schools is surrounded by our mission, and our mission of educating and empowering lifelong learners. And we do that with our vision of preparing all students for successful, productive lives. And the key word there is all. We don't get to recruit or limit. We take everybody who enters our door, and we help them reach their goals. And it's a very individualized attention placed on each child and what they need so that they can reach the graduation stage. We do that under the governance of a locally elected school board. We do have a school board member here with us today, Ms. Lynn Sylvester, tremendous supporter of our schools. These board members are some of your lowest paid elected officials, certainly in this community. They're underappreciated. They get beat up a lot over things that go on, especially the last few years when you have everyone and their individual opinions and how it affects through COVID and everything that we've dealt with. Our board members take a lot of beating over everything for $50 a meeting, and they truly have servant's heart, and they do it to make sure our kids have quality education in Lumpkin County. Everything we do is based off of our strategic plan. We have 4 pillars of our strategic plan which guide our work. Number 1 is student success. Everything that they do. Dr. Jacobs talked about the competitive spirit. We have that too, in everything. We want our kids to be competitive in school because when they get into the real world, they're going to be competing for jobs and for success with people from other districts. And we want kids from Lumpkin County being able to compete with the best. We also have a strategic goal around parent-community engagement, where we want to develop partnerships, not just with the parents of students who are coming into our building, but with other organizations. And we're very appreciative of the partners in the room who help us to that end. Our third goal area is professional excellence. We believe we should hire people who are competent in quality and help them to get even better. And so we invest greatly in professional excellence. And then our fourth area is operational and organizational excellence. Everything we do from an organizational perspective, we want to do it as well as we possibly can. So I'm going to go through some of these goal areas and talk to you a little bit about the successes. And forgive me, I'm going to hit this stuff quick. But I just want to share with you some of the success that we've had in Lumpkin County schools over the course of the last year. We were recognized as an AP STEM school, an AP expansion school. We had a state champion choral student, Nikolai Smith. He was subsequently in a very terrible motorcycle accident and has fully recovered and is now at the University of Georgia. We're very thankful for all the prayers and support for Nikolai during his challenging time. We've ventured, and again, this is just a handful of the opportunities our kids are having to compete and to go out and to represent this community. I've shared a couple of new ones here. We have the stock market competition. These are middle school students competing with others across the state in the stock market challenge. We had a national recognition in FBLA with Luke Schofield, phenomenal young man being recognized at the national level. We did win a state championship with girls basketball last year, and that was certainly a fun time for this community and for those kids. And I think the best news, with regard to that is every single one of those players is coming back this year. So we're excited about that. You may not have known that our rifle team made the state finals. They have a phenomenal team and they compete. And we had one of the top 3 shooters in the country who was just a sophomore last year, and so we're very proud of them. We also won the state championship with our academic team. You may not have heard that one. I don't remember it being on the front page of the Nugget. But the Quiz Bowl, also state champions. As mentioned a minute ago, Skills USA is something we compete in, and we won the state championship in Quiz Bowl. Another area that might be new to you is mock trial. We were a state finalist in that. We've been competing in that the last several years, and our kids are doing very, very well, acting like young lawyers. You might not be aware that we have a very competitive bass fishing team. And those of us that grew up fishing, we missed out on an opportunity there, I think. But these kids certainly are not, and our kids are competing all across this state. They compete in 3 different bass fishing leagues throughout the year. We also are very competitive in our academic realms, and so I've got some of our Georgia milestone assessment scores, and I'll tell you what's in each column. I know that's small. If you go to the far right, that's Georgia. If you go in the middle, that's our RESA, our Regional Education Service Agency. That represents most of the districts in Northeast Georgia, 15 districts, and then our Lumpkin scores. And the column that has all the green, that is the highest scores compared to those groups, and all those green columns are Lumpkin. So we're very proud of our success with English and language arts. I'd like to draw your attention to the actual numbers. And when you look at these numbers, we're not just edging them out. And I'll give you an example. In 3rd grade ELA, Lumpkin was at 84%, our RESA was at 62, and the state of Georgia was at 64. Our teachers are doing something right in the classroom. That's not just in ELA. We have similar results in math. We have similar results, and we've heard a lot of research and a lot of conversation over the last several years about reading on grade level by the 3rd grade. And that this is an area that we've really focused on, and our reading scores continue to improve. I didn't know this piece of data, but thankfully Will Wade shared this with me yesterday. We like to compete with everybody, but we really like to compete with Dawson County and White County. And so when Will shared this data with me, I threw that in there at the last minute. And what this is really, a bigger comparison of how did we deal with COVID, how have our kids responded, how have our schools handled the challenges. And if you can't see the numbers, Lumpkin in 2019, we're 81.6% of our 3rd graders reading on grade level. We're still at 81.0. Dawson County saw a significant dip, as did White County. So we're very proud that our students have maintained the same level during the most challenging time of their lives. We continue content assessment results, outperforming the RESA in the state in science, also in social studies, and as you'll see on these slides, this are all grade levels that we are testing in, and we're outperforming our competitors. We remain in the top 3 for RESA 5 years running now in the SAT and ACT, and we are in the top 20 of all school districts in Georgia in these categories. An area where I'm most proud of is graduation rate, and that is of every student that comes in our door and remains, in 4 years, they're graduating if they don't transfer to another school. So we had 3 years in a row with the highest graduation rate in school system history. Last year we were at 98.41, and we're not sure yet what our calculations are for this most recent group of graduates, but we anticipate a little bit of a bump there again. So very excited, 4-year graduation rate, and our kids are having tremendous success. In parent and community engagement, not quite as many metrics to compare. And so we go with recognition. The Georgia School Public Relations Association awarded us last year with 10 medals, 5 of those being gold for the areas that they score districts in. We also have a most recent, one of our initiatives in partnering with the community is our Well-Read, Well-Fed initiative in partnership with the Community Helping Place. And that's where we had dozens of members of our community who came together to make sure our students had books to read and had food to eat during the summer months. I do want to give credit to Ms. Lynn Sylvester, drove her personal bus to go and make those deliveries, and that sort of outreach is what this strategic goal area is really all about. We've invested greatly in professional excellence over the last couple of years, and I'm proud to say that we received the Georgia School Boards Association Leading Edge Award for Culture and Climate in providing a workplace where your employees want to work. Our retention rates remain around 95% every year, and in a world where fewer and fewer people are entering the field of education, it's more important that we keep our quality educators here in Lumpkin County. We'll get into the finances in a minute, but it plays significantly into this award in my perspective. The culture and climate we have for our employees to work in, it has to be very positive. It has to be somewhere they want to be a part of and they feel supported and part of a bigger team, because we cannot compete financially with our neighbors, and I'll show you that in a minute. We're also recognized by the Georgia Association of Educational Leaders with a Vision Award for Leadership Development that is preparing our leaders and others in our district to lead and to backfill for those who are retiring or moving on. So our fourth strategic goal area might be of interest to you with some of the work that we've had going on our campuses. We have just completed another phase of our high school renovation. So we've completed 2 phases now, one being rooftop and HVAC replacement. This summer we did about 2/3 of the building on the interior, a full renovation. A couple of pictures of those improvements there. And we're really proud and the work that has gone on there. I want to compliment Greg Tram on his supervision of that area to make sure that these projects have gone off without any problems. In this one, this is the gym. We're really excited about that. What you may not know is our high school teams, we have several basketball teams, and they all share one practice space. We're very fortunate we're able to create another space for them to practice in our gym. So a lot of work going on there at the high school. You heard mentioned a minute ago, Tim said, talked about the Career Academy, the College Career Academy that we're going to open next fall. We're very excited about this. One thing that I want to emphasize there, right now, students who want to go or adults who want to go and take courses at Linear Tech need to go to another county. They need to go to Dawson County or to Hall County. This will give Linear Tech a footprint on the ground in Lumpkin County where adults can take classes in this College of Career Academy. They can work their job during the day, and they can come and take classes with Linear Tech in the evening. A lot of opportunities there for partnerships and for service in this community. That was a partnership with both University of North Georgia and Linear Tech, who had critical roles in helping us get that $3.1 million grant. I'd also like to express my appreciation for Will Wade and Senator Gooch for their support on that initiative. It was mentioned that we got that in our first try. And it wasn't our first rodeo in planning and preparing for it. It's just that we were very well prepared, and we had a very strong team that showed up and earned that grant. So we're very fortunate there. We also have a new elementary school. I don't know if you know about that. That's pretty big for us. We're replacing a building that's 54 years old, has failing infrastructure, and can't continue to serve the number of students and staff that are in that building every day. So we've got 111,000 square feet, 55 classrooms going in just up the hill from us here. That's a $21.6 million cost to build. That includes over $1 million of contingency and what we're doing. And so that priced out at $186 a square foot. Projects that are bidding right now are bidding over $300 a square foot. And so we're very fortunate that we were ready to go to bid when we did. We had our bonds in place, and we were able to save the taxpayers of Lumpkin County millions of dollars by taking the aggressive time frame that we did. Our partnership with the Lumpkin County Commissioners, I'd like to hit on that and just make sure everybody in this room knows we don't fuss with the commissioners. We are partners with the Lumpkin County Commissioners. I know sometimes that doesn't make for good newspaper fodder, but we have a great partnership, and Chris Dockery and all of our commissioners have been very forthright and upfront and working with us to make sure that this complex is something that's going to serve this community in many, many ways for many years to come. So we are we're also thankful, if you saw the newspaper, the road improvements, and Steve Gooch was instrumental in securing additional funds for this community to help make sure that the state is participating in the road improvements that will be necessary to serve that property. So Senator Gooch, again, thank you on that as well. We do anticipate opening that school next fall. It really should be done in the early spring. I give you a couple of quick pictures here. Here's the overall site plan. Up front is where the recreation center is going to be. The white box that you see on the screen, that's the school. Here's the rendering of what it's going to look like. We're very excited. And here's what it looks like right now. And so we are coming along. We're coming along quickly. We're meeting our time frames. And we have two terms that we try to use in all of our projects, and that is on time and under budget. And right now we are on target for both of those. So I want to hit on a couple of quick topics in K-12 education. First being taxes. Your taxes are going up, and that's because your property values went up. The cost of everything in our society is going up. Those inflationary costs are just something that we all are dealing with, and we're not void of them in the school system, nor are the colleges and universities void of them. Things are costing more money right now. We've had to build in additional fuel costs. We've had to build in money for energy. Teacher raises, Governor Kemp made good on his promise to give our teachers much deserved raises. So we had another $2,000 for each teacher there. And then the cost of school safety is, how much should we spend on safety? I don't know, but it probably won't be enough if something goes wrong. So we're always looking for how we can make more improvements in that area. So let me touch on the finances real quick. We do have a budget increase this year. Most of that is with energy. We do have personnel costs rising. And even though we have all those costs rising, we were able to have the lowest millage rate that we've had in over a decade. So we're proud that we were able to roll back the little bit that we could. And so being fiduciarily responsible with your money is important to us. And so in our comparison group, here's where we rank in terms of revenues and expenditures. And when you look at this data, we're $107 from the bottom on revenues, and we're $5,500 from the top when it comes to earnings. And you go, well, how does that affect the expenditures? Again, we're $200 from the bottom on on expenditures, and $3,600 from the top in our comparison group. So not only are we outperforming everybody, but we're doing it with less money. So we're very proud about that. I mentioned school safety. That is our number one and most paramount priority every single day. We've implemented several different measures to make sure that our students and staff remain safe in our care, and the tragedies that we've seen in other communities. We want to make sure that just because sometimes we feel like we live in Mayberry, that we're not taking things for granted, that crazy can happen anywhere. And we're very proud to have partnerships with Sheriff Girard. We have an SRO in every campus. As of this coming Monday, we're adding another SRO to help monitor our campuses and make sure that we have a police presence. And if someone wishes to do harm by our children, they will be faced with some serious resistance. We also have controlled access. We have card access, and we have door readers around our building. So we know if a door's been propped, we know when doors are getting opened and who they're getting opened by. We also have constant monitoring with security cameras all over our campuses and monitors that are being watched by staff throughout the day. We have an immediate response system. Every one of our employees wears a badge that has an emergency button on it. There's no more going to the phone and calling for help or hitting some magic button in the room. No matter where you are on our campus, every employee can hit this badge three times and it calls for help in the building. Principals, administrators, nurses. I tested the system the other day, and in 8 seconds, I had a nurse and an assistant principal standing next to me when I hit my badge. 8 seconds, we had a response, and that's pretty impressive. We also have connectivity. If we keep hitting that badge, it automatically alerts 911. There's no making a phone call. Emergency services are immediately deployed to come to our aid. And we have increased the frequency of our drills with fire drills and, most importantly, lockdown drills in the event that we're faced with some serious tragic event. So that's what's going on in Lumpkin County Schools. I'm very proud of the work that we're doing. I hope that you're proud of the schools that we provide for the children in this community. I want to take a second and again thank our partners. Dr. Jacobs, we wish you well. We're going to miss you in your retirement. You've been a great partner to us, and we appreciate you. And Lanier Tech and Mountain Education are partners to us. The Chamber is a great partner. We can't do what we do in our school system without all the partnerships of many people in this room. So God bless you and thank you. Hope you have a great day.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Wayne Lovell. He leads the Mountain Education Charter High School. I'd also like to thank him. He was the brigade chaplain with the Georgia Army National Guard and served in Afghanistan. So I want to thank him for his service there as well. He serves our community in multiple ways. So without that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Lovell.
Well, good afternoon. I'm glad to be here, and thank you for inviting us over. As I sat back and listened, it was just a theme that came forward, and I might be a little biased, but I think that being a product of North Georgia, White County, I grew up and graduated there, came to North Georgia College back then, a product of there, but we live in one of the greatest areas of the state I can imagine. And I am so thankful for being able to be in this community. And the theme that I've heard tonight, or this afternoon, was partnerships and collaboration. We couldn't do what we do without the partnerships that we have with the college system, with the technical college, and with Lumpkin County School System. Yesterday we had our governing board meeting, and I have the honor of running a program that we have a vision about being the first choice for a second chance. The students that we serve are some of the most marginalized in the state. And we've had a banner year. In spite of COVID, in spite of everything else, we've had some great things happen. But again, it would not have happened without the partnerships that we have. That meeting yesterday, and I want to highlight something here because Dr. Rob Brown is a mentor and a guiding influence. He's a member of that board. And I have 7 sitting superintendents from the school districts in this area. And they challenge us and they hold us accountable. You're not going to get anything across or by Dr. Rob Brown. When it comes to schools, he's a subject matter expert. And I have 7 of those individuals sitting on my board, making sure that we stay true to the vision and mission of our organization. And I want to thank you, Dr. Brown. I want to go through and kind of give folks just a little bit of an overview of what we do, because what we found out over the past couple of years, there's a lot of misinformation about the work that we do. Currently, we're in 18 locations, scattered all over North Georgia. We run the gamut from all the way over at Elbert County to Chattooga. And then we come up all the way around the borders of the north. There are a few counties over in the northwest we haven't touched, but we still serve those kids if we can get them close to one of our campuses. This past year, we served over 2,700 students. And what we're doing there is we're providing access to a high school education. Many times people think Mountain Ed, it's a GED program. It's not. It's an accredited high school diploma. We're NCAA approved, and we meet all the accreditation standards, and we're making sure that we're providing access to that high school education. As you've heard from other folks before me, it's that first step. It's necessary. And many of the students that we serve, they're coming to us already behind. When we looked at the data the last couple of weeks, over 83% of the students that are enrolled in Mountain Ed are a minimum of 1 year academically behind their peer groups. And that's pretty significant when you start to think about that. And I know a question came up within the last couple of weeks about, well, are you providing a quality of education? And the answer to that is yes. When Dr. Brown was up here showing the statistics and the data that he has, this RESA area that we work in is one of the highest performing in the state. And so when you look at where we are within this RESA district, the students that are coming to us, not only are they typically coming behind their peer groups, but we're able to demonstrate some growth, and we're catching these students up. And we're building resilience in this population. Many times they come to us and they think that they're failures because they have quit. And again, going back to that vision statement of Mountain Ed, we want to be that first choice for a second chance. What makes this work is that we're partnering and we're collaborative. I'm not trying to compete against the Lumpkin County School District. I'm not trying to compete against White County or Union County or Towns County or Rabun County. I'm not looking for the student that is on the traditional trajectory. I'm looking for that student that for whatever reason in life, someone in that family has agreed with that student or that student has made that decision themselves that it is okay and acceptable to quit school and to walk away from that traditional pathway. That's not what we're looking for. We want to get those students back on a normal trajectory. And if they come and they graduate with Mountain Ed, that's great. But if they come and they take a credit with us and they can go back to Lumpkin County High School or they can go to another high school and they can graduate, that's a success for all of us. That's the community we're working with. So here's our rankings. It definitely is. And that the tribute goes to so many different people that are working with the organization. We have over 1,000 employees. And we only have 38 full-time employees. A year ago, we were a little over 55, and I know Senator Gooch is here, and he probably thought I had sicked a lot of folks on him. But we realize, and I'm going to speak to it when we get near the end, that funding's an issue. And we find ourselves in a place that I'll address at the end of the presentation. We knew that that full-time footprint is something that we're going to have to draw down some over the next couple of years. And so we have 38 full-time employees, but we have all of those others are part-time folks. And many of them work both in their traditional program. In the day, they're employed by Lumpkin County. We have maybe about 20 staff members that work at the system here in Lumpkin County. They also work at the Mountain Ed site over here. And throughout North Georgia, we're doing that. We're also giving some retired educators an opportunity to continue to contribute, and they're doing a great job. We're self-paced. The students come to us, and they work at their own pace, and they can come throughout the year. There's no start and end date with us. We're year-round, and so if a student ends up having some sort of situation that comes up, and every student has a story. And so it's really difficult for me to get up here and say, well, this is a typical Mountain Ed student, because they all have different stories. But for whatever happens in their life that forces them to this position, we're ready for them. They walk in the door, and we go ahead and put them into 3 classes, and they begin. It's an evening program. We use a blended model where we have quality teachers, highly qualified in their subject area, and they are there in the classroom, and they're working through the curriculum. The pandemic gave us an opportunity to leverage a lot of resources that we had. When I talk about having 1,000 employees, and many of those are retired educators, We looked and we had over 18,000 years of educational experience sitting in their buildings at night. And so I sat down with Dr. Jennifer Glover, who's Director of Teaching and Learning, and we began to talk about what could we do to leverage this experience, this knowledge base. And for many years, we've used a kind of a canned product that Pearson makes for our learning management system. And it wasn't relevant. It wasn't aligned to Georgia standards. And so during the pandemic, we put folks to work. And they developed an amazing product that the previous slide talking about some of those scores, in particular U.S. history, that is amazing. And it is using the resources that we have in our community, the experience we have in our community to be value added in so many different ways. Again, we are in the evening, Monday through Thursday, and it depends. In some sites, we start at 4 and go to 9, and sometimes it may be a little bit later, depending on our collaborative partner. Maybe we're in a high school in Chattooga. We're in a program, the kids are there till 4:30, so we start at 5. And so we remain flexible and come in and work in the evening programs Monday through Thursday. We're not open on Friday, and so students they have the opportunity to have a job. We have many students that take care of their siblings, especially during the pandemic. They stayed home and took care of the kids, and then in the evening they would come to school. And so there's a lot of flexibility. We also focus on their wellness piece. The student population that we serve, typically they're dealing with a lot more issues than a traditional student. Life sometimes has dealt them a very difficult blow. And so we know that we have to have the academic foot, but we also have to have a wellness foot as well. And those are foundational to everything that we do. The academic part, we talk about trying to do the best we can with them and making sure that they have access to the curriculum, that it's a relevant curriculum, that they have the support in the classrooms to do the academic things they need. But that's a small part. The big part that we do are the wraparound services. And so there is a very unique, very structured, robust system to ensure that we're addressing more than just the academic needs. And so we have social workers and counselors, graduation coaches, dual enrollment specialists. We bring a lot of resources to the table to make sure that this student who thought it was a good idea to drop out of school, that thought that maybe there is no future for me other than just going and trying to find a job, that there is more and you can do more. And we're trying to help them develop that potential and understand that potential a little bit more. And we have so many folks that are in the buildings doing that. And I think that is what makes things so unique for the student population we serve. We started in 1993 with a little collaborative with Union and towns and Fannin counties. And that year we only had 3 graduates. And slowly we started adding to that. This year we surpassed 5,000 graduates since we've been in this almost 30-year career. And I think that is something that definitely impacts the community at large. And we hear from folks different times about the difference in that high school education and lifetime earnings, the difference between a child that has a high school diploma and a child that doesn't. At a low estimate, it's around $250,000 in lifetime earnings. But that's just in earnings. Think about the impact on the community. The resources that are often diverted from other things to support folks because of issues with incarceration, with other poor decision-making issues that are out there. So that's a starting point. And getting that high school education is that important. We talked about this learning management system, the trails. Dr. Glover's with me. Once we complete this today, if you want to talk to her, I would like to encourage you to visit the Lumpkin site. This is a very powerful piece, and we have folks that were here at the Lumpkin site that were involved in that and in the development, and we continue to sharpen the saw with that every day. Talk a little bit about our students. Here's a little piece of data for you. Since the 07 school year, we've graduated over 508 students from this community, from that campus. And we are at, right now, I know this says 21, but looking back at the data, we're at 22 graduates out of this campus this year. Now, we graduated 479 students this year alone. And so that's a powerful testament to the work that's taken place across Mountain Ed's footprint. Here at the Lumpkin site, John McCrary and Susan Burrell have done an outstanding job. They're very engaged with the students. They work in a very close partnership with Lumpkin County School System to make sure that we're a viable option. This year's star student for our whole system, covering 18 campuses all across North Georgia, 2,700 students, was a young girl from Lumpkin County, Miss Emmeline Bagwell. And she chose Diane Strickland, a teacher here, to be the star student. And I think that's something to celebrate in this community, that the work that's taken place here has been that powerful. I do want to close out just talking a little bit about the obstacles that are ahead of us or the opportunities that are ahead of us. And I know that some of you may have heard of Mountain Ed's closing down. And I wanted to say that we are cautiously optimistic. When Senate Bill 153 was passed last year, there were parts of that we certainly can embrace. And we were under the State Charter School Commission for the past 10 years. That piece of legislation removed us out from under that umbrella and moved us back up under the Department of Education. And we have lived there before, and it is our hopes that we will continue to live as a chartered school under the Department of Ed. So we find ourselves here today. This current charter we're under ends this next June. And what we have, I know Representative Wade is here. We are meeting. He is on a committee that the House Education Committee put together that's studying alternative education, and we're looking for a path forward. We feel like there is going to be a continued future for Mountain Ed. We're committed to addressing any issues or concerns that are out there, whether that's the funding, whether that's governance, whether that is expansion and replication. Whatever those issues are, we're committed to working towards a solution. And we feel like that we have friends all across the state. We've had conversations with Senator Gooch, Representative Wade, who understand the program, they understand the work we're doing, the value we're adding to the community. And we are going to be willing partners in addressing any of the issues and concerns that come up. This will be the second meeting with this committee. We'll be there next Wednesday, and we'll be presenting the model. And we'll be prepared to answer any questions or concerns that the committee has. And we are preparing for the future. Our strategic plan that we operate on, it doesn't end. We see the vision and mission we have as being vitally important to the communities we serve and to the students that we work with, and we are going to keep moving forward, being that first choice for a second chance. I really appreciate your time, and Dr. Glover and I are here. If you have any questions, feel free to pull us aside. Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
If I could ask Mark Spraker, who's the chairman of our board, to come forward. And while Mark's walking up here, I'm going to share a new tradition that we have. And that's the presentation of a challenge coin. A challenge coin is a small coin or medallion bearing an organization's insignia or emblem and carried by an organization's members. Traditionally, they might be given to prove membership when challenged and to enhance morale. They are also collected by military service members and law enforcement personnel. Historically, challenge coins were presented by unit commanders in recognition of special achievement by a member of the unit. They could also be exchanged in recognition of visits to an organization. Modern-day challenge coins may feature popular culture attributes or organizational values.
Thank you very much. We really have appreciated all the presentations. What I'm going to do is actually call them sort of in inverse order. Dr. Lovell, would you come up so we can present you the coin? I just want to personally thank you as you're walking up for everything that you have been doing for this community and for this region. And then I'll ask Dr. Brown to come forward. And as he's walking up, I'll just take a point that both of my children have spent their entire educational career in Lumpkin County high schools. You may have seen my daughter on 2 or 3 of those pictures up there. And I really appreciate everything you've done for us and for this community.
Thank you.
Dr. Tim McDonald, president of Lear Tech. If you haven't had the chance to see it, he has an absolutely beautiful campus and does wonderful things there. And last but definitely not least, Dr. Benita Jacobs. Now I'm going to make her stand up here awkwardly for a couple of minutes while I talk about her. When she was hired in July of 2011 as the first female president in the history of North Georgia College and State University, she came to a small North Georgia university, high functioning, but a small institution. She immediately became involved in Lumpkin County. She went to Chamber of Commerce events. I was on the Chamber of Commerce board at the time, so I was actually there sometimes introducing her and whatnot. And then 6 months into her presidency, an announcement was made that NGCSU would be consolidating with Gainesville State College. And the focus and direction of her presidency changed radically. She went from being the president of a outstanding liberal arts institution of 6,000 or 7,000 students to now a much, much larger institution with completely different considerations and concerns. She oversaw the development of the University of North Georgia, its creation from those original small institutions to one of nearly 20,000 students, spread over 5 campuses, touching educationally and economically more than 30 counties and 16 state legislative districts. She has done so in an outstanding fashion and has also fostered an explosion in student support services, in academic and research support services, in student scholarship, and in, as you could see from the information she put up here, academic excellence. She recently announced that she was going to retire after what will be 12 years, which is very long. Most presidents typically retire about 5 years. She has done an outstanding job. I know that I will miss her, and we wish we could have another 12. Dr. Jacobs, thank you.
Well, thank you to our presenting sponsor, Northside Hospital, our gold sponsor, Truist, our silver sponsor, Northeast Georgia Health Systems and Dahlonega Country Day Academy. Our bronze sponsors, the State Farm Office of Nick Gardner, the University of North Georgia, and Exclusive Handbags and Accessories. Thanks for all of you attending today and supporting the Chamber and our community. Have a great day.